All right, welcome to Pass the Mic for Friday, June 14th, 2024, episode 119. We are on Zoom, the last day of school. Happy last day of school, Mr. Gervasi.
Yeah, same to you. How many years?
26.6 at
Cool.
the end of June. How about you?
Officially in Gibraltar, officially 19. It's really 21, even 22, depending on how you look at it. So it's been a lot of years.
But you have the credit, right? Like, because you were working like that back in
I
those
got
days,
a-
you earned credit.
Yeah, I got a little credit for it's just weird how I'd have to go back and look at it.
Retirement credit, not seniority
Yes,
credit. I think
yes,
is what
yes.
it is. So, feedback and errors. I found two errors. One was a big one. We sort of threw Max and Kent under the bus. We should have only thrown Kent under the baseball bus in reality.
Okay.
Because we were all excited about our baseball episode, and Max did comment. I think he sort of got lumped in with it. Kent has not commented. I guess maybe he's asleep on his couch waiting for a game on Valley Sports Detroit to start or something.
Maybe
I don't
he's
know.
asleep on his couch watching. Okay, go
The,
on.
the blank screen, if you have Comcast. So Max did give us feedback, and he did give us feedback again this week, and he's really first with in-depth feedback. Sometimes the Ren Dog, if he's working overnight, like there'll be a tweet out at 12:00, about like 12:48, and he'll give us a general comment. Max gives us the bullet points, which was interesting. And then I did say, you caught me on it when I was talking about Dr. Bodden, and I said JFK Jr., and I thought I didn't. He did not investigate JFK Jr.'s death. It was JFK's assassination that he.
Okay, all right.
I think, like you mentioned, JFK Jr.'s death was pretty cut and dry.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
not dry, but cut.
Oh, dear Lord, Mike.
No pun intended. Too
Wow.
soon?
Too soon, yes. Too soon.
What do you have?
Well, first off, Max, I gotta give him credit. His favorite doctor. Did you remember that? Dr. Van
What was that?
Nostrand?
Dr. Von Nostrand. Yes.
Yeah.
That is what he's in my top there. Those episodes were always great whenever he was on there.
Yeah,
With the slicer.
I took some heat, a lot of heat actually, about the Fab Five. And Max's brother was first. If he says he ever won a national championship, the resume consists of, and this is true, back-to-back championship finalists, lost their best player, went to the Elite Eight the following year, and lost to the eventual champion. That would be Corliss Williamson's Arkansas Razorbacks. And throwing that in there, Todd, you didn't mention that, but that was a great team. And so I'm getting a lot of heat for the use of the word overrated. Now, I don't know if I want to bet proclaiming that, because they got a Fab Five. The Fab Five got a 30 for 30. And I think they did so much damage to the program. I think Juwan Howard's coaching abilities, or lack thereof, really set this team. John Beilein had them as a top 10 at worst, two final game appearances in 5 years. I mean, they were really peaking, and he seemed to take all that away. Now, there's a lot of other extenuating factors there, but certainly Juwan didn't do himself any favors. So I took some heat from Todd. I took some heat. Deontay mentioned, the fact that the NCAA has now totally changed the rules suggests that exonerates them for what they did, and I can see that point of view. I'm still not, it's my dislike, I guess, of Fab Five that comes out. And it's not even necessarily a dislike of them. I just dislike the hype. So I'm mentioning that. It seems I ruffled a little bit of feathers with my hot mic take. Again, I can't stress enough, Mike, and I really sincerely mean this. I have some of the best friends in the world. I am one of the luckiest people on the planet. I firmly believe that. So, again, that was not meant to ruffle any feathers. So those are the big two. Now, I have a personal thing here I'm going to bring up. I had a conversation with Crystal Fowler, our colleague at work.
Yes.
She went to high school with you.
Yes.
It appears
that
she's
young. She's younger than me. I'll give her
yeah. Okay. It appears that hip hop music did not reach Gibraltar. Like, it didn't come this far south.
Just like wealth, it didn't trickle down this way.
It didn't trickle down, right? So I didn't expect that. She mentioned she misses my opening little bit where
the old hip hop thing. Yeah.
We're not going back there.
No, the Ren Dog has made requests.
So here's what I'm going to try something new, and this is not going to be an every week thing, but from time to time,
Okay.
and I think it's more or less when I come across a song that I think I could talk about. So I'm going to do it this week, if it's okay with you.
All right. Well, can I give feedback first, or do you want to do it now?
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I got one more because I want you could maybe work
Sorry.
this into your mic of the week. I'm not trying to say, I'm just
Oh, go ahead.
because we have some very important feedback. We were at Ariana Pate's graduation party this last Sunday,
Okay, go ahead. Yeah, this is great.
and the Stoltzes presented us with gift bags. First of all, this is a full declaration to Dr. Rice. We did receive gifts as hosts of the Pass the Mic podcast.
Uh-oh.
So I don't know if he's keeping a ledger
Oh, man.
of our compensation. They had these nice mugs. They
You
were
just
put in
threw us under the
popcorn
bus. Okay,
bags.
go on.
They were
Yeah,
they were in nice popcorn. Everyone thought we had popcorn at the party. They're like, "Where'd you get the popcorn? Did you get asked that?"
I did. I did.
Yes.
Exactly
Yeah.
that
So that was a
question.
nice theme. Uh, and we mentioned a few weeks back. I think we had talked about not our shock at these people that want to rush through high school, right?
Yeah,
That this is what this goes back to. The people that want to like they graduate at 14 from high
right.
school and then graduate at 19 from MIT. And tongue in cheek, we said paying bills is the best gig because that's all you're doing. You're rushing through that to get into adulthood.
Right.
What are you rushing into? Like you're rushing into paying bills for another 40 years.
Yeah.
So she had these nice mugs. This is like the official motto of the Pass the Mic show.
Yeah.
Paying paying bills is the best gig.
So that's what we're
And
gonna
maybe one day the Pass the Mic show will actually pay the bills. And then we can spike the football with Dr. Rice and say, you know what? We are being compensated. Oh, that was the other thing too. Little feedback errors. I cussed last week
Oh,
and we
yeah,
didn't
yeah,
have
yeah.
the ability to edit it out.
Speaking of which, Deontay mentioned that too, and he said that his podcast has like kind of infected you. So yeah,
Yeah.
you
So
wanted
we
to
weren't
delete it out, not I told you not to.
I did. I was going to play an iMovie a little bit, and I was going to splice it, and you said no. Let it go.
Let it go.
Let's get on the edge. We're on the
Yeah,
edge.
we're gonna be human, and
So,
we're gonna.
but back to the Stolz's. Thank you. This is very nice. Hand wash these, by the way. Don't no dishwasher.
Glad you told me that.
All right. I hand washed mine the other day. It's these custom mugs that will you'll lose the wording. So I collect quite a few mugs. I don't know if I'm going to use it to actually you know what? I might use do you put ice cream in mugs sometimes instead of bowls? Do you ever do that? We do that in
Time
this
to
house
time,
sometimes.
yeah.
Yeah, I think that might just become an ice cream mug. I don't know. We'll see.
I
Okay, I interrupted you. You were going to reveal this new feature, and then you can go right into your mic of the week. What do you got?
okay. So this is for Crystal, and I would love to hear some feedback on this. I guarantee you, Max will have it. Rennie, Rendog, any hip hop fan. So this is just going to be when I think it's going to be when I come across something that I think a song maybe Crystal would want to hear. Because again, she
Okay.
said it did not the hip hop wealth didn't trickle to Gibraltar. That's man,
No,
I
like
find
I
that one
played Into the Road by I played Into the Road by Boys to Men today. Does that count?
no, no. So okay, the song is so I'm gonna recommend a song every once in a while.
Okay.
Came across this one, Naughty by Nature. It was their second big pop, or not. Oh my god, I called it pop. That's you're not supposed to do that. Second big single. It was called Everything's Gonna Be All Right. There's actually a different name for it that I won't say here because we're
Not family friendly.
So the song is Everything's Gonna Be All Right, Naughty by Nature. Now I'll recommend Crystal you listen to the real version of it. Don't listen to the non-explicit one because it's more powerful. But it's a song about his life. I think it's semi-autobiographical. I don't think it's actually fully biographical, but I think there's elements to it that are true. I tried to find that out and I couldn't, but it is just it gives you a great glimpse into life in the 90s. A lot of the hip hop music that came out of, in this case, the East Coast. Certainly not going down that road right now, but the song is Everything's Gonna Be All Right, Crystal. I would strongly recommend it. It's really, really powerful and it's great. So that's my recommendation for you, Crystal. Every now and again, I'm going to do this. So this is the first time doing it.
So a little rep. You're not going to be singing. You're
No,
going to just recommend various titles.
when I come across them on
Okay.
Sirius Channel 43,
Okay.
great. I came across it this weekend. I was like, I think this would be a good song. This is again, it's really powerful. Again, the language could be a little strong. I know we have some younger listeners, but
Yes. Listen at your own risk.
listen at your own risk. There you go. So that's
All
my I don't know what we're gonna call it, but that's my hip hop recommendation for
Yeah, maybe we'll think of a better name for it, or maybe our
yeah.
listeners can suggest something.
Okay, all right.
All right, Mike of the week. It is your week. Who do you got?
In honor of the NBA Finals, I'm gonna go with a Mike that is frequently on television, Mike Wilbon.
Oh yes,
He is
very
a
good. Washington. Wait, is he
I think he's based in
Washington Post?
Chicago.
Oh,
he was Washington Post, but
oh,
he could
Tony
be
Kornheiser was
Kornheiser, yeah.
Washington Post. Yeah.
He's in Chicago, or he was. That's a good question. I know him now from ESPN. He was,
Oh yeah.
pardon the interruption, is in its like 24th year or something like that.
What a great show.
Great show, and it's still, I mean, it's still as entertaining now as it was
Yes.
when it first came on. So that, and he does the NBA Finals coverage. I think he's just an all around, seems like a great dude. So Mike Wilbon is my Mike of the week.
Nice. That's a good one. We'll put that in there. All right. Education topic this week. It's our last day of work. We have kids are done at 10:50. We have some have to get all our work tied up and in for the end of the day, and then end of the year. My nephew's congratulations to my nephew Dominic. His graduation party is later today. We'll be there making a little
Yeah.
appearance there. The
Yeah.
Mike the Pass the Mic tour. We should be hyping these up. Maybe getting some more revenue streams.
Yeah.
No gifts necessary at that stop.
We won't turn him down though.
No, but be careful, Dr. Rice. If you heard that, we could be we're walking a thin line here. But summer plans.
Yeah.
What's crazy is we're working out June 14th, which is a little longer. The lady in the credit union today, this is Wednesday the 12th, we recorded this, and she asked me if I was done. And I'm like, no, but when I thought about it, 2 more days, it's probably like that October break. To me, it doesn't matter. Once I start a week, as long as I don't loop into the next week, it doesn't make a difference to me. Whatever. It's sort of like once I start a work day, I'd rather it be a longer work day. So, what do you have? What's on the summer agenda list for Mike Gervasi? What do you got going on?
All
Summer
right.
24.
So first up, you just mentioned a date. Let me just throw this out. The Pistons 35th anniversary of the title, Thursday, June 13th, 35 years ago, they won their first title.
Oh my
34
goodness.
years ago, June 14th, they won their second title. Okay, so on the agenda this, so next week we have a little JV summer league. I have told Rob Raymond, who runs it, a former guest,
Yes.
that I do not want to referee.
Oh, you're hanging up the whistle.
Mike, I was pushed to the brink this year, and
That's it.
I'm sure I'll do it again. When I'm asked, but I told Rob, if you're in an emergency, I'll absolutely help you. But I would rather, it really is easy money, especially at JV Summer League. So, but my daughter will be doing
what day? Hey, what days are those?
Those are Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday.
Do you see the weather for next week?
Oh my goodness. Yeah, man. Yeah.
It is warming up. I mean, it's
Yeah.
already getting a little, but I think it's like mid 90s next week.
Yeah.
Woo!
That gym, oh man, it's rough.
You might have picked a good year to retire.
Man, so that's week one. After that, we have that camp, as well as summer league. Again, my daughter will be doing the clock. That's Monday through Friday. So a lot of players trying to impress a new coach, Coach Raymond, new old coach,
Yes.
if you will.
Yes. Yeah.
And then I have a big endeavor coming up for me this next school year. I am going to be the advanced placement government teacher, not the most popular,
Yes.
I don't think, not the most popular AP class, but I'm teaching it.
Yes.
So
the college board suckered you in.
I have to take a class this summer, a week-long class, roughly 8 to 5 p.m.
And back
I'm
to school,
nervous,
Rodney.
I'm excited. What's that?
I said back to school, Rodney
I'm
Dangerfield.
telling you. So those are my big three things. I hope to, Kristen and I hope to have a small little trip somewhere on the west side of the state or something, around my birthday. But other than that, nothing big planned. How about you?
Uncle Sam Jam.
Oh God, I hope not. But my youngest, man, she wants to go to every
Oh
single one.
God. Oh my goodness.
I do not get it. I
I'm just
feel
crying.
worse about life when I go to those things. It is depressing.
I don't think I would go if you gave me a free wristband in a reserved parking spot. I wouldn't go. Maybe if you gave me $1,000 spending money. Not to sound like I'm some 1% or anything. I just don't want any. Now Nate told me he wants to work B-dubs during it because he hears it's Super Bowl-esque.
Really?
At Buffalo Wild Wings. Well, because I think everyone has to park up there for like the shuttles and whatnot. I mean, it is.
Jeez.
I guess it's our. What about the fireworks in Heritage Park? Back in your stomping grounds.
I don't think I've been in 24 years, so
okay.
Man, those.
I'm not a big. I'm really making. I think we've hit these before, like on these summer. But for me, of course, I have the part-time job, Lake Erie Metro Park, which I've been working weekends. I'm expanding my schedule at the golf course, which I really enjoy. I really like it because I see a ton of people I know. Carlson kids, parents, and it's really low stress, and it's a really nice place to work. So I'll be doing some of that. Possibly, we have no. Well, go ahead.
Can I interrupt you? So when I ride my bike through there, where do I go to find you?
Well, I'm at the golf course, which is off Lee Road, which is separate. It's over by the marina. And there's a little establishment on the corner of Lee Road and West Jefferson. It's called West Jefferson Bar and Grill. I don't know if you're familiar with it. Used to be Big Al's, used to be the Old Moose, but it's right on my way to and from work. Not that I stopped there on the way to work. I'm not going to speak about driving home from work, but so it's right down that way. But it's really not connected to the park.
Okay.
But if you want to go to the driving range or pop in there, you can see me. No trips planned as of right now, but we're maybe thinking about throwing something together last minute. Nate and I took my mom out to dinner tonight. And I sort of asked her about dog sitting because that's the one thing I don't have covered. Chloe comes home at the end of June,
That's
and is going
exciting.
to stay here for July. And she's still going to, pardon me, work out in Ann Arbor a few nights a week. I hope we're going to keep up on Pass the Mic. We might have to take a week or two off depending on our travel schedules, but it's going to be all Zoom, obviously. We got to get that retiree episode in with Miss Bechtel, Miss Fountain.
Yeah, what are we doing? Yeah.
We'll have to send that message and get that. I think summertime is a perfect time for that because for them, it's summer year round. So maybe a trip cross-country conditioning. We'll be starting that up after the dead week in July because the MHSA, we follow the.
Do you have your workouts and all that stuff all ready to go?
Yes, of course. I have a binder and an electronic workout and my whistle ready. So all joking aside, we have some high numbers. I had to take 20 uniforms from Coach Torres. I think we're going to have some high numbers, so that's great to see. And I'm gonna try to read. I got something you mentioned in the new book. Danica Cruz got me my new book. Here it is, right here.
It's a great book, man.
So this is my first book that I'm going to go for the summer. I'm going to read that. I still have The Heat Will Kill You First, which I started a little, and I just got too busy. I'm going to read that. So I got some nonfiction to kick off my summer, and then I usually find a true crime book over the summer, and maybe write a little bit as well. And yeah, thankfully, and again, I'm hoping to bump my working up to 3 days a week, 4 days a week at the Metro Park. I also all the generic stuff that we take care of, right? I have an oil change scheduled for Monday. I have a vet visit for Ella on Tuesday, and I have my doctor visit scheduled for next Thursday. All the stuff that we try to clear out and get set up. Exciting stuff.
Yeah.
Good luck on the AP US Gov. Down the road, I may come back as AP coordinator. I got to wait till Nate graduates before I can get back into that. So maybe one day we'll be working side and side. There's so many AP tests now that these kids take. So we'd love to hear what our listeners are doing this summer. I know we're the lucky ones. I just shared on Instagram a meme. Are you familiar with the Ben Affleck where he's smoking a cigarette and he looks just super annoyed, leaning against the wall? Are you familiar with that? And so it's two pictures of Ben Affleck, and one of them is he's like strolling down with like this bag of like food, and he's got this big grin, smiling, and it says "Teacher's first day of summer break," and it's Ben Affleck, grinning with this great food order. Like, and the picture next to it on the other half is parents' first day of summer break, and it's the one with the cigarette where he's just leaning against the wall, like looking at. What that cigarette. Imagine like you get caught in like something like that, and that meme's used forever. Like you're just sitting there, because I see that one with a cigarette all the time, especially with this thing with him breaking up with J-Lo.
Yeah, that's a good one. I like that.
Yep. All right. Overrated, underrated, and going back to what you said at the very beginning, we need to remind people: overrated does not mean bad.
Yeah.
We may have said that once or twice on this show. Overrated does not mean bad. You decided to go with last week of school. We're living it right now. It's a full week.
Yeah.
In the past we've had it was weird. It would be like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or Monday, Tuesday, Monday, Tuesday. This year it's a full week. So we actually get this full week of school where you have this couple full days. Today was a full day, but there were exams thrown in and locker clean out. And then tomorrow and Friday start with the half days for students' exams. So this one pretty unique in the fact that we have a full week. What do you have as overrated for last week of school?
So do you get, I don't know if this is exclusive to me. I've talked to other people about this. Let me ask you this. You order an Amazon package. You're very excited about its arrival, right? The anticipation builds up and you get it. And you might have that good feeling for an hour, right? And then you're on to the next thing.
Mm-hmm.
So to me, the overrated is the actual last day. In my mind, the way my mind works, and perhaps it's the pessimistic side. And let me preface by saying I thought of this today, so I don't want this to come out wrong. I genuinely like what I do. The years, in some ways, it's getting more challenging. The different things we have to deal with. The different avenues things that come at us in different forms. But in general, I really like what I do. I had a fun moment today with one member of your cross country team and another student who faced off on a gym kit. It was just the two of them in front of the entire class. It's fun stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
but the clock starts ticking. To me, it's like as soon as it's and again for my summer, it's the fact that I know I have these couple weeks of work or a few weeks of work ahead of me. So I just think it's the last day itself, the minute the bell rings and the clock starts ticking for the fall, and I'm like already in that mode where, I'm how long do we have to go back? So I'm just saying the last day itself, which is going to fit with my underrated, which we'll get
Well,
to.
it's funny you mentioned that. I was almost going to mention it in summer plans. Okay, it's June 14th. We're done, right?
Mhm.
August 13th or 14th is the first day of fall sports. People say, oh, you're off for 3 months. You're really not off for 3 months.
No,
You're not off for 3 months.
no.
I mean, even if you don't have any, we have responsibilities. Like you said, you are doing this AP, you have this AP class that's going on. Me as a coach and student council advisor, I'm going to meet with my executive board and class presidents once for a lunch meeting. We have another, like I got to do CPR and first aid. I forgot to mention that because I got to renew that to coach. Like it's really about, in reality, it's about a month and a half if you're a coach. I
Right.
mean, like you said, Rob's doing summer league. So it's not like, yes, we're not teaching those times, but it just seems to come quick, like
Right.
really
Yeah.
quick. Like,
Really quick, yeah.
yeah. So, and also I think going along with yours, the high school last day, it's so different than like I think elementary, because really your last day was today where you saw all 6 hours.
Mhm.
Okay. Our last day on Friday, first of all, it's odd. It's sort of anticlimactic. It ends at 10:50 in the morning.
Right.
You could
Right.
possibly only see one class. It's not like this vibe of, and some kids aren't there because they had AP. The seniors aren't there. So really the last day of school was really Tuesday this week,
Right.
which was a normal full school day. So I think we sort of lose that in high school because of the exam days. I'm not knocking the exam days. We need them. It definitely helps out with grading those, but it's not like what you see in the movies and TV shows,
No.
this whole,
Where everybody throws their
jumping
papers
out and
away.
celebrate.
Yeah.
Yeah, because really you don't see they clean the lockers today. So it's sort of like the next 2 days you're showing up for tests and leaving. It's
Right.
my overrated is I don't know. It's just that not as much in I guess so sort of everything is so packed in this last week, and you feel like you never have time for everything you want to get done.
Nope.
I always tell myself when I'm going to leave on Friday that I'm going to have all this stuff done and set and good to go, and then all of a sudden it gets to be Friday and I'm like, I can't get this done. So I either come in one day the following week and just finish up a few things, grab a few things. Because it's never done. There's too much packed in. We had graduation last week. We have a luncheon tomorrow that's going to take up a bunch of my time. And by the way, shout out to Kathy Huber on her retirement. I don't know if we did that in a previous
Oh,
episode or
yeah,
not,
yeah. I would
but
forget that, yeah.
we're presenting her with something. Kelly Walters is leaving our building and going to Shoemate to replace John Roman. Congratulations down in Max's building, Mr. Roman. Both of my son's counselors sort of getting a little shift there. But it just seems that you think you're caught up and you think you got everything, and then you really don't. You
Right.
don't, and it's sort of like it's it seems like you never get ahead. You
Yeah.
never get ahead. You sort of just squeeze and try to that like that checkout list. Like you try to everyone needs to get all that stuff signed, so you try to get stuff done, and it's just it's the everything just being packed, and you think you have enough time and you don't. All right, underrated. What do you got?
Okay, so my underrated is like today. I love this week. I love the anticipation. I love the anticipation of getting the Amazon package. I love the anticipation. I wish if we could freeze frame a time, like and just stop. It'd be right now. I love the middle of this week where it's coming, but it's not there yet. It's a lot more relaxed. I think the feeling again, the kids are taking finals, so for them, I'm sure it's stressful. But like I said, we had a fun little thing today. I just when you can hang out with the kids and not have. So we had first 2 hours today were finals, and then the last four were sort of just get through. You know what I mean? And
Yeah,
that's
oh
where
yeah.
you kind of come up with things. So I did that. Like I said, I did that review game, and those two kids squared off. It's a lot of fun. I just love the anticipation of everything more than anything else. So I that's my underrated today.
Yeah, I just sort of have the words locker clean out because that's sort of like that is that last sense of
Yeah.
school being over. And we had that today, 6th hour, that the kids are out there, they're standing out in the hall, and they did it very well. Like I'm in a hallway that's younger kids chucking all their stuff in the garbage, returning their books to the bins. That's sort of that feeling of like I'm done, right? Like you're
Yeah.
cleaning out your locker. Um, you know, the kids that are passing their classes seem very less not stressed. Now the ones that are the rubber's going to hit the road, and they're going to be
Yeah.
they got the parent square that says how much summer school costs. But for the most part, kids are jovial. And I was having some nice conversations with kids that passed through the library, checking out like chargers and Chromebooks one last time, and wishing people good luck on exams, and
Yeah.
talking to people that I was talking. I'm not going to violate FERPA, but I was talking to a sophomore, an athlete that struggled a little bit this year, and she's working on, and she wants to do better next year. And she told me how, and I know this person because I coached her, and I said, listen, I go, I know that your struggles are not intelligence related, right? And we've had this conversation.
Yeah.
Most of them are not.
Right.
It's time management and work ethic.
Work ethic.
And I
Yep.
said, I go, your ability on the playing field where I coached you, and your ability, I mean, it's amazing what you do. I go, if you have that commitment to your academics, if you take half of your commitment of athletics to your academics, you'll have nothing to worry about.
Right.
And she's like, in the sort of the prep top, I go, you know what? Most in my history, the kids that struggle, the biggest jump is, we've talked about this, the jump from 10th to 11th grade is sometimes where that snap goes off and people
Right.
realize. And I have faith in this person, and I think that she's going to do it. And then she said, but I also hear that 11th grade is the hardest year. I go, it is the hardest year, but it's also when people grow up the most. So, just having those kind of conversations, not depressing conversations, but people looking forward to a new slate, next year and that sort of thing. So that's my underrated. So great week of the year, though. I'm not going to lie.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
It still is exciting and fun. It's a much more relaxed week. People are usually, there's other weeks that, even weeks before a break, people are tense. And I think this week, everyone's just very relaxed, just trying to get through. And the kids have been really good. I want to say that too about our kids, both the seniors before they left and our kids right now. I don't want to jinx anything over the next 2 days, but they've been really good. Like today, even during locker clean out, I don't know what it was like in your hallway, but I mean, kids were doing what they're supposed to do, and lunch they were fine and great. So I want to give a shout out to our kids for that. So, all right, hot mic take. What do you got this week?
Oh man, I got to do this, and I didn't want to, but I've had too many instances of this. So somehow this came up at school the other day, and then I started asking around. Michael Jordan did not get cut from his basketball team in high school.
This came up because we joke, because it's often been mentioned in graduation speeches.
Yeah, all the time. I mean,
like not as much recently, but back.
Oh yeah,
in the early 2000s, that was it.
And I asked kids at school, kids that are basketball people. Well, everybody knows that he was cut. I'm like, so the real story, if you want to say this is cut, that's fine. But he was a sophomore who tried out for a very good varsity basketball team. It was told you have to play JV.
Which now, a lot of sophomores throughout history, this is what happens.
If that's cut, now again, he himself has been one of the leading propagators of this myth. And I think it's just a natural part of him that fueled his fire. I'm not even bashing him for this, but I just had to tell the listener. I'm talking to the kids, everybody I asked, even adults, all believe he got cut from his basketball team. One kid in particular told me, my dad's been telling me that my whole life. So, and we know there was a basketball coach friend of ours who, when he cut a kid, said, hey man, don't worry about it. Michael Jordan got cut. So Michael Jordan was not cut. Again, it's
set the record straight.
Yeah, one of the best, if not the best, arguably the best basketball player of all time. Didn't make the team he wanted to when he was in high school, but he still played basketball. He played basketball that season. So from my definition of cut, other people would disagree, but he actually played basketball that season. So he tried out and was told you're playing JV.
I got a lot more playing time.
Yeah. And
okay.
Maybe it served him better in every conceivable way.
And that's what led him on his path. So I'm glad yours is low key, because mine is too. We haven't had this in a while where we both sort of have not deal breaking things. I mentioned, I sort of hinted at it earlier. The heat is coming. Okay. Is your air conditioner on at home currently?
It is. Yeah.
Okay. And we've had the discussion about setting the thermostat. I'm not doing that. I'm not here to discuss that. Do you use, here locally, we have our, by the way, it's a monopoly. I don't know if you realize that. DTE is crazy. I thought we were a capitalist country and we had a competition, but DTE does electricity and gas here. I guess you can buy your gas from somebody else. I don't want to, I'm sure the people will jump on my throat. But do you use the DTE Insight app on your phone at all
I do not. I do get a periodic update comparing my
to the
use
rest of
to
comparing to
our
other
usage to
people
neighbors.
nearby?
Yeah.
Okay, so there's an app that you can download. It's called DTE Insight, and
Okay.
I download it because I it basically allows you to look at your usage for the week. It takes it by week, then it takes it by no, it takes it by day. I don't pay for the one that's super, and you can go by like the hour, but you can go by day to week to month and bill, and you can see, and it tells you, okay, here's compared to last week, here's what this week is,
Yeah.
and compared to last month to yourself, you're not being compared to other people. You just compare it, and then what I really like is on the month and bill, it says, okay, you are down 30% compared to last month usage, or you are up, this and that. And so it's nice to just sort of get an eyeball. And because I don't know, do you use the budget plan or do you pay whatever it is due every
I
month?
just pay whatever it is. I don't budget.
I do the same thing, but in my mind, when I budget my expenses for the month, I just say to myself, it's going to be $300.
Oh,
Okay.
wow. Okay.
And you know why I do that? Because there's a couple months where it's over, but most months are under. And that way I'm always in the black. You know what I mean? There are a
Hmm.
couple like a real hot month or a real cold month that hits like 330, 340. That's combined gas and electric. But most months, thankfully, I'm under that $300 uh, budgeted amount, penciled amount.
Okay.
So here's my beef with the DT app. I've been doing a good job, like the minute you run your central air, because it gives you the score at the end of each week, and you get points for how many days a week you check it, and then you get points for your electric use. The minute you turn on central air, you fail. Like there is no way to run yours. I've discovered this. Like like last week I had my air on a couple days and I went from like 98%, 80% score of how well I'm using my energy.
Yeah.
I turned my central air on, and we've had this like we're a 73-degree household,
Hmm.
maybe 72. So nothing. I saw a post today, people asking. Some people are like, I don't even know how their system keeps up with it being like 65 or 66. I
Oh,
don't know
man.
how. So
Wow.
like 73. I know I'm not like those crazy people that say 70, but 73. So I'm not crazy. My score dropped to like 40% failing for
Jeez.
energy usage. Yeah. And
Just on.
it's not even that hot yet. Like it was, it's been sporadic use. Like what I'm doing now is like if we're not in the house, I turn it up, or if it's I'll try to keep it off until bedtime, right? Because you want to be comfortable when you go to sleep, and then I'll kick it on. Those not when it's these, but I feel as if DTE doesn't even want you to use central air. I honestly think that in their dream of dreams, you would not use central air.
Man, you're going after them today.
I am. I want to know if other people use this app and if they ever pass in the summer. I want to know
Okay.
what they set their thermostat. That's what I want. Speaking of the air too, we just took Nate and I took my mom out to, what's it called? What did I say? It was Bubba's. Is it, what's the official name of it up
Bubba's
there
and
on your
Taylor.
Bubba's 33? Is there a number with it or
I don't
something?
know. It's a good question.
Bubba's. It's right up there by old Art Van, where Art Van used to be.
Nice place though.
Very nice place. It was. I got the
Yeah.
salmon salad. Heart Smart.
Really?
Yeah, it was really good actually. Their salads are actually pretty good. And also, this might be part hot, Mike. My mom and my son ordered a burger. I ordered the salmon salad. A little bit of discrimination by the food runner. He comes back with a salad, looks right at my mom, and says salmon salad.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Has anyone ever had that happen?
That's a Seinfeld episode. You remember the mutton
Yeah,
and
I wasn't that offended, but it really happened. Like the guy was so sure of himself, and he's
wow.
like salmon salad. Looked right at my mom and thought the two burgers. Nope. I'm used to it as a male librarian. I'm often discriminated against, or or uh,
That's all right. You have enough time to sort of calm your nerves and
the
figure
the
out
the fans are
all
gonna
this
love that
anxiety.
comment.
Yeah.
Good thing Miss Stoltz ran the mugs already once. So
Yeah, that would
uh,
be even better. But see, that would just be exclusive to you. So this
uh,
is
I guess it's not really discriminated. Stereotyped would be the correct.
stereotype.
I'm using the wrong word.
Yeah.
Stereotyped. But back to whatever their DTE score has to be like 1% because that place was like a meat locker.
Oh,
The
is that
ice
how we got? Is that
there
how
were
you got onto that? Okay.
there were people like bundled up inside
Yeah,
the restaurant. I loved it because when it's
I do
summertime and
too.
you
Man, I
oh
love it.
man, Bubba's. If you're hot and you don't have air these next days where it's 95, go eat there because let me tell you what, it is they are scoring 1% on the DTE app.
Yeah.
All right. Unfortunately, I think you are correct about the NBA finals. Um, although this injury for Boston, do you think this affects it in any way?
They're so good. I mean, the drop off. Kristaps Porzingis is a very good player. Al Horford is almost as old as you and I are. I argue with my friends about him. I think he's a very good player. Had a very good career, but he's. I mean, I think he's 38. So it's a drop off, but they are so good. And man, I hate saying that. That I don't. It's gonna have a. It might be a blip. Dallas might steal the game tonight. But I still, at best, I think Boston in 5 now. I said it's
Oh
6.
man. Well, Tom Brady is having his big day today, so maybe Dallas can spoil that up there.
Yeah, we'll see. I just don't see it. It's too
Are you
bad.
watching the NHL finals?
I am
I think
not.
Florida's up 2-0. If
Do
I might
nothing.
be,
I did. I have kept
and
tabs on it because I don't want
and
to.
people are complaining about that because I think like Edmonton's the more like flashier team, and Florida's just locking them down. And
Oh yeah,
I'm sure the NHL is real happy about this, but
it was kind of like the '95 finals when I'm sure you don't
mm,
remember. I do remember this. The Red Wings
New
lost.
Jersey,
They got swept
New
by New
Jersey,
Jersey. I
yeah,
do, and it's kind of the
I do
same thing.
remember that. And I guess like Florida isn't even selling out these games. Like
Really.
they, I don't know what it is about the NHL. They love these low scoring, lockdown teams, I guess.
Hmm. So, and they're not even. Man, that's a Stanley Cup final. And Florida didn't even sell out. It's funny. I remember going to Florida on spring break, and one guy with our group is a big hockey guy, and he was trying to talk to a waiter at a restaurant about, I believe it was the Tampa Bay Lightning at the time, and this because we were right outside Tampa, and this guy had no clue that they even had a team. It was like, I mean, you go
What are you
down south, they're not concerned about hockey.
No, no. Well, it is what it is, and the Tigers and the Pirates are a little warmer. These young pitchers, there's talk in Pittsburgh if they can get a guy or two. But they just, I mean, they took the first game against St. Louis, which always, and I guess the St. Louis crowd, who I normally knock St. Louis, gave Mr. Skeens a standing ovation when he came out of the
Really?
game yesterday. The guy has been amazing.
Yeah,
I just almost am like fearful, like, hey, this guy's this good. He was pitching in college last year. We talked about how these guys normally don't make the jump. So this
yeah.
guy is this good that he was the number one overall pick. He played a little minor league this year, and now he's up and he's shutting down major league teams. Is like I'm scared to death of his arm. Like it should be wrapped like in a case or something.
Can I just add? So you're mentioning number one overall pick. The Tigers have two recent number one overall picks, and it's just this is our woe is me attitude, but it's like Torkelson and Casey Mize, and it's just not happening with them. And you talk
Well,
about
the one who'd they send down?
the Torkelson.
He's supposedly killing it in Toledo, which I don't
Yeah,
know what that's good for. You can get some good for the Toledo Mud Hens, I guess. He
yeah, I
wasn't killing
guess.
it up here.
No, and it's
Um,
just like, man, how it's this again. The Lions may be breaking us out of this mold, and maybe the Red Wings after this season, who knows? But like just the Pistons with all their high picks, although they still managed to find a way to the number 5 spot every time. And then, but they did have Cade Cunningham a couple years ago, who has been okay. He's been fine, maybe even good, but it's not working. They won 14 games, and then the Tigers with these two picks, and you mentioned this number one overall pick, who's 1 year in and is
well, I thought Mize was like I mean, this Skeens pick was pretty much universal. Everyone said this
yeah.
guy is a once in a generation, so it was very easy for the Pirates. But I also thought that Mize was sort of he wasn't at that level, but I thought it was like a no brainer with
It
him
was
as
a
well.
no-brainer, and
If I remember, it wasn't.
I think Torkelson was pretty darn close to a no-brainer too.
But I mean, the Skeens is like was above those two
Absolutely.
guys. I mean, obviously, if you're pitching major league 1 year, not even
Yeah,
a year in, right out of college. Like, so thankfully for the Pirates of always being bad, they were able to get that number one pick.
yeah,
So, all right, well, enjoy your last day of work. We hope to record over the summer over Zoom. We're gonna try to get up some guests now. We'll have to reach out to like Bechtel and Fountain. Like I said, congratulations to Kathy Huber from our building,
yep.
and good luck to Kelly Walters moving to Shoemate. It's been a pleasure to work with both of you. Kathy is just all class, does her job well. The stats kids loved her. She knew smart, very smart lady, hardworking. I'm bummed that Kelly's
Hardest
leaving
working. Maybe
to
well, arguably we have a lot of workers. She's up there for sure.
yeah, and bummed that Kelly's leaving because she was my kid's counselor. She did a great job with Chloe getting her into U of M, helping her get into U of M Ann Arbor, and she was helping Nate today with scheduling stuff. And good luck to her. She's gonna be those kids at Shoemate. That's great for them and the staff down there.
Yeah, yeah. Good luck to everybody, and again, Kathy, all class, all the time,
Yep.
amazing, amazing. Any. I always feel like whenever I'm given a compliment of any sort or any sort of accolade, I always feel like that's she's like the measure, and
Yes.
I never feel like I mencure up to her. She's definitely one in a million. So
I will miss her phone going off in staff meetings.
every time video is her phone. Yep.
That might have been her only fault. If that's your only fault, there's nothing wrong with that. So
Yeah.
one of the few people I know that has their ringer on. I don't even
Yeah.
ever have my
Right.
ringer on anywhere. So
Right.
good for her. All right, we'll see everybody next week. Have a great week, everybody.